What if you can go back in time and get a chance to talk to your younger self? What would you say? That's the topic for our second episode. Welcome to 7 Things. This is a show about advertising, about marketing, about corporate life, about love life, about life in general, discussed through 7 points, 7 pieces of advice dished out by our guests. And today, very much like episode 1, we have a very, very good panel for you today. And I'm so excited to introduce them to you. They are the management committee of independent agency 7 AD. Starting off with Sil.
Hi!
We also have Dolor.
Hello!
Together with us is Joanna.
Hi, everyone!
Micah is also here.
Hi.
RJ,
Hi guys.
Randy,
Hello.
and Rin.
Sup?
Before we jump in and answer that question, I have a few warm-up questions for you guys. Now, the first one is, when you were just starting out, did you already have like an idea that you were going to go into this field? When did that decision happen for you guys? Because for me, when I was starting out, I really wanted to be like a farmer. That was the dream. Well, it's still a dream for me. So I took on agricultural course before I went into advertising. Was it the same for you, or you already had a clear path to communications?
So for me, Russ, sobrang lost ko after graduating. Kasi it was weird because I took on a BS Psychology course. I was supposed to do medicine, but after taking my first science course in college, I was like, oh, parang it's not for me. But I enjoyed my major, so paglabas ko, it was like, okay, what am I gonna do with this degree? I'm a creative type, so super lost ko. And then my first job was as a designer by accident because my boyfriend at that time joined a graffiti art contest. And then I came with him to submit his artwork to Vans. Vans yung isa sa mga brands. So I was like, ooh, parang erakista ako nun eh. Parang, I wanna work with the Vans. Nagbigay ako ng CV, wala lang. I was hired as a merchandiser. And then eventually, I taught myself how to do Photoshop and Illustrator, self-taught designer. And then one day, I was in the grocery. Nakasalubong ko yung friend ko from college. Sabi niya, gusto mo ba mag-ahensya? I was like, ano ba yun? You can be a creative. I feel like you're fit for it. I'm like, okay, sure, why not? Ganun lang siya nag-start. Totally random. I didn't even know what advertising was about.
Parang series of happy accidents, no? Very much like mine. Hindi ko alam paano ako napadpad sa advertising, no? But still, I remember you started out as an interior designer, or you took an interior designing course.
Yes, I graduated with a degree in interior design, but my boyfriend and I broke up after college, so I didn't want anything to do with ID. So I said I wanted to try something else. Like, I wanted to be an FA because I wanted to travel and get a lot of discount. Unfortunately, I'm too short to be an FA. So I also have a friend actually who's in advertising, and then asked me also, similar to what Rin said, but why don't you try being in an agency? And just like Rin, I didn't know, but what am I going to do there? Well, you can try accounts. And what am I going to do as an accounts? Oh, just try it. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. And then that's it. Started from there, and then I'm here.
Parang the corporate life is intertwined with the love life. Ano?
Oo nga, no?
How about for the others?
Ako, truth be told, no, my college degree was actually marketing and communications. Even within nung college ako, I actually didn't understand what I was doing. I think it just struck me that I was really doing marketing communications. Parang almost pag-graduate na because we were doing revalidas already, thesis. And then after college, the first job offer I got was in another agency kagad. Although because I did not understand what it was really, I actually did not take the opportunity kagad. I went to a totally different field. And then after that, I went to another country na derail ng konti yung marketing and communications. And then when I got back here in the Philippines, that was the only time na parang, okay, sige, subukan nga natin talaga. Now, here, after 15 years in the industry?
How about you, Dolor? Dolor is, of course, the numbers, no? The numbers. Was it your, I guess, vision to really take this path?
Sabi ng nanay ko, mag-nursing din daw ako, pero takot ako sa board exam. Kala ko walang board exam ang accountancy, so nag-accountancy lang ako. At that time, hindi mawawalan ng trabaho ang ang accounting graduate. So yun, I pursued it.
How about you, Micah?
Actually, when I was younger, I really, really hated math. I still hate math, sorry. I hate numbers or anything that would require me to use, I don't know, logical thinking, if that's what you call it, like trying to understand and analyze numbers given situation. So my friends would tell me, no, mag-advertising ka kasi walang math doon. It's all drawing and just conceptualizing and brainstorming and smoking and drinking. So the fun side of me was like, game, advertising it is, but you know, who would have thought?
Dami ka kayang math.
Bakit nagmamat ka ngayon?
Yes, I know, that's the point. So I'm back to a field that I hate. I'm doing something that I hate, but you know, I started to love.
So parang parang opposite poles kayo when you started ni Dolor, no? Si Dolor very much into numbers, ikaw hate na math, no? How about you, Joanna?
Well, ako parang when I went into college, I really wanted advertising already. Pero medyo na-derail when I got into third year, fourth year. My mom wanted me to be a lawyer. Passed the UP exam and my mom was so proud. And she said, this is where you're meant to be. So I tried it out. Halos one semester of UP Law and it was the worst 4 months of my life. I completely hated being there every day. And weird pa yung pagpasok ko in advertising. It was an EA position for the CEO back then. And I was like, well, why not? It's a stepping stone. I'm gonna get in. So might as well go for it. There, 11 years down the road and I'm still here.
Interesting. Randy, how about your journey?
Ako naman, the course I took is pretty much related to advertising and marketing. I guess that was what I was exposed to growing up because my sister's in brand side. My brother is currently in a media agency. Medyo na-brainwash ako in that sense. Siguro mga third year or fourth year in college ko lang na pinpoint na gusto ko maging creatives. But at first, I wasn't sure kung gusto ko ba mag-strat, mag-accounts. I ended up here and I love it.
The reason why I wanted to start with that question is because I'm pretty sure, hearing your stories now, certain points in your lives, there was someone there who sort of helped you out or convinced you or became a Yoda for you or an enlightened one. And today, we can be those Yodas for other people watching now. This is the part where we put in the sci-fi music like that because we are going back in time. And now, as we go back, we are going to meet your younger selves, and at any point in your past, makikita mo ulit yung young Rin, young Randy, young Sil. What will you say or what will you, knowing everything that you know now? Maybe we can start with Joanna. What is that one thing? Hello, young Joanna.
I started out fresh in college and it can get really intimidating, especially if you're a fresh grad. You tend to feel as if you don't have a voice. You tend to feel as if your opinions won't matter during meetings and you're just there. You're just a warm body inside the room. I guess there were several moments in my life where I felt like I was just there to carry office equipment or to sharpen pencils, but you're not there to sharpen pencils. You're not there to carry the laptop or the projector. You're there to also give an opinion and make sure that your voice gets heard.
So parang you're never too young to express. Even if you're young or even if you're just starting out, you can actually make a big impact. And that starts by speaking up, no? I can relate to what you were talking about because when I was starting out, I was also shy, being a very introverted person. No? Parang I had all these crazy ideas, but I was too shy to express because maybe I will be judged or maybe they won't like my idea. But I guess what you're saying is, what's the worst thing that can happen, no? They don't like it, and that's it, no?
Yeah.
So that's the advice for the young Joanna. How about a young version of you, Sil? If you can go back in time, what's that one thing that you're going to tell your younger self?
I think what I'm gonna tell my younger self is, if you make a mistake or what we call pag may sabit ka, It's just a bad day, not really a bad life. Because I remember clearly when I was still a junior AE, I was also too afraid to make any mistakes, because I felt like if I make a mistake, I'm probably gonna get fired, or they're not gonna trust me anymore. I'm basically gonna be judged. Even now, we still make mistakes. I think what's important is we learn from it. We just need to make sure, okay, the next time we come across something similar, you remember the last time you made the same mistake and you never do it again. I was able to talk to some AEs who resigned and asked them the reason why they left the industry, as in totally left the advertising industry. And one of the reasons they said was because they felt like when they make a mistake, this is really not the industry for them. And I think they need to know that even for someone who has been in this industry for a long time, there are still times that we do come across, little sabbats, but now we just learn how to manage it. And I think that's the best thing that I can tell my younger self.
Before, you said it's just a bad day. It's not a bad life. It's just a day in your life that you made a mistake. I mean, you have another day to recover. You have another day to correct everything, So I guess that's also a very, very important thing, not only for those starting out, but even for us, Parang sometimes, especially now that it's pandemic, we're all in lockdown, Parang every time you do something or do something wrong, parang everything is magnified. But it's just another day. We can recover from those. I remember this quote from Robert Fulgham. He said, if you break your neck, if you burn your house, if you don't have anything to eat, that's a problem. Everything else is an inconvenience. Ganun din, Parang everything else can be solved, Dolor, I don't know if you encounter the same problems, if you encounter the same challenges, but if you can go back in time and talk to that math wizard, the young Dolor, what would you say to your younger self?
I will tell myself that I should have invested during that time. Parang doon, you just have to save for some big buckets expenses. To me at that time, bata pa ako, I was so in work na parang in my own financial thing, I wasn't so keen on planning on my own finances. So parang, okay lang.
Tabi ng konti, With whatever you're earning, just save a couple of bucks just to
7-30-10 rule. So 10% goes to your donations or charitable giving. Then 20% should be savings, and 70% is the one that you can spend.
Pati ako natuto doon 70-20-10 rule. Interesting. Listening to Joanna, Sil, and Dolor now, parang there's a certain thread that talks about having no fear. Joanna says, do not be afraid to speak up, speak your mind. Sil says, do not be afraid to make mistakes. For Dolor, do not be afraid to invest. At a very young age, you can already start. How about you, Randy? Talking to your younger self, talking to a young Randy, what would you say?
Ako kasi when I came out of college, I already had a lot of expectations for myself. I already had big goals. I wanted to be good, and I wanted to be good fast. On one hand, it pushed me to really work hard. But at the same time, ang lakas maka-pressure. There are a lot of times when I got disappointed with my own work. Parang it didn't meet my own expectations. Kasi I had an image of what good should look like, pero hindi ganun yung output ko. So I got frustrated a lot. I started questioning myself, para ba talaga ako dito? May bubuga ba talaga ako? But then later on, I realized na hindi naman pala kailangan magaling agad. So I guess what I would tell myself is, start by developing your taste first. So you can look at what other people are doing. Hindi kailangan advertising. You can look at good content, music, film, series, whatever it is, and start developing that taste, and then the rest will follow.
We hear that a lot, especially in our field, taste, And when you think of taste, it doesn't happen overnight. It's really you develop it, You develop a taste for something. So it's the same thing, I guess, with advertising and with marketing. You develop a taste for good work, good ideas. It happens when you immerse yourself, very much like good food, So you have to surround yourself with all of these things that would inspire you and would help you develop that taste, no? Ito, speaking of taste, ang galing ang taste
Alright.
nito, hindi lang sa pagkain, kundi sa lahat ng bagay. So, RJ, if you can go back in time, talk to a young RJ, what would you say?
Kunyari lang, Russ, yung magaling ako sa taste. Fake news yon, fake news. Siguro, if I would go back in time and I see RJ, siguro in college or first few years of his career, I would say to him, alam mo RJ, magkasabay dapat ang yabang at ang galing. I want to qualify that. Yabang, in English, there are several translations of yabang in English. It's either confidence or just being plain arrogant. And galing is all about being good. Let's just put it that way, no? Being good. The idea of confidence / arrogance has to be directly proportional to you being great or being good. Siguro gusto kong sabihin sa kanya, young RJ, you really have to make sure that you understand the concept of yabang, whether that is confidence or just plain arrogance, and that has to be really directly proportional to your talent, to your desires, to your doing great work. And this is not to say, Russ, naman na parang, okay, I have to be humble and di ba yung false humility. That's not to say na I have to keep it to myself because I still don't have the stripes to actually talk about my ideas. But I think you have to be really, really conscious that what you're sharing is really coming from something that you are really confident about it, and it's not just plain arrogance.
Try to relate it to what Joanna said kanina, no? You can be confident in expressing yourself, but you don't have to be arrogant. What you're saying is your attitude dictates your altitude. So dapat medyo pumapantay yung dalawang yon, no, for you to really succeed, no? That's very, very, very interesting. So how about you, Micah? If you can talk to the young Micah, ano ang discussion points?
Young Micah, do not regret that you always choose to act one level higher. You are smart. Although everyone's smart kasi, and that's a good problem now. It's the ugly truth. Everyone's smart. The key thing that you need to do is to make a difference. That happens when you start to take on more roles and exceed expectations. So for example, in the critical moments of my career, moving up, when I'm given expectations or KPIs, kunyari when I started as a junior AE, I always ask my boss, can I also see the KPIs for a senior account manager? And then I train myself and I learn. It's always moving up the ladder. No one wants to move down, right? So what's stopping us from acting one level higher? So young Micah, continue to be brave, continue to exceed expectations and to learn, even if it means having restless nights.
Parang never stop learning also, no? Parang every day is a learning opportunity and you get to learn not only by yourself, no? You learn from other people as well. That's why we have this team and we have other people we can run to. And lastly, Rin, back in time, talking to the young Rin, what would you say?
Back in the day when I was younger, I didn't really have that much of a problem being assertive in terms of ideas. Medyo bibo ako eh. So parang kahit nung junior writer pa lang ako, ay may idea po ako. Parang game na game ako to express myself. But, madali kasi maging bibo kung you have an idea, you have a solution, may ambag ka. Pero paano kung yung gusto mong sabihin sa boss is something na hindi nakakabibo? What if yung gusto mo sabihin sa boss mo ay, boss, parang di ko na kaya, wait lang. O boss, parang pagod na ako. Boss, dinudugo na ako. Boss, di na ako natutulog. And I think that's something that I wish I had known earlier nung bata ako na okay lang i-express yun. Diba? You want to get promoted, you want to get a bigger pay. So, syempre, you want to show that you're on top of your game. You want to prove that you're efficient, that you're effective, that you have great ideas. And it's actually exciting, right? This field, this industry. Actually, it's also very demanding, right? We know that there's so many requirements. The working hours just get shorter. You're putting a lot of pressure on yourself, as Randy said, that you want to perform well. I can see that a lot of reasons why creatives, or even not just creatives, but people in the industry move out, is because they're burned out. I think a lot of problem could actually alleviated or taken care of better if we also learn how to be more assertive in terms of taking care of ourselves. If the load is too much, if the timelines are too fast, it's okay to sit down with your boss and to let them know na napapagod ka or it's too much. So I think that's something that we're so afraid to say kasi baka isipin na tamad naman ito or reklamadora. But I guess related to that, my advice also to my younger self and even for those of us in the industry, pag sinabi mo man sa boss mo, right, na hindi mo na kaya, napapagod ka, I suggest that you talk about it, not just feelings but add facts. Hindi yung lalapit ka lang sa boss mo na, ay, na, pagod na ako, 'di ba? Parang, ay, hindi ko na kaya, parang, hindi ayoko ng timeline, no? But you have to explain it also so that they understand. Why is it too much, right? I think your boss, 'di ba, would understand it. So yun, don't be afraid to say pag hindi mo na kaya, but make a case for it, right? Para naman hindi yung parang nagwa-whine lang tayo or nagwa-rant tayo.
And what's interesting with what you said, Rin, no, parang knowing what we know now and we are molded by the pandemic, we've learned so much about not only the industry, not only about the jobs, but ourselves, no? Na parang learn to take care of yourself. So if we can go back to our younger self and really say, alam mo, start taking care of yourself. Diba? You will thank me for it, no? Very, very exciting answers, no? Kasi kung ako ang tatanungin nyo, sasabihin ko lang, when I go back and talk to my younger self, sasabihin ko lang, invest in Apple. Mga ganun lang. Okay, ito yung lotto numbers. Parang ganun lang sasabihin ko. But interesting insights from everyone. And clap, clap, clap. Thank you for all of those wonderful answers. And thank you for joining us in episode 2 of the show. And I'm pretty sure there are more than 7 things that you can share with us. So do comment on the comment section. Please subscribe and follow us on Facebook. We'd love to hear from you and share your thoughts, not only on this episode, but maybe other topics that you want to cover for our next episodes. Again, thank you to the 7AD Mancom. See you on the next episode of 7 Things. Bye.